Hi, students. This presentation will show you how to write the argumentative research essay. So, before you view this entire presentation, right now, I need for you to have a pen or pencil so that you can take notes, okay? Also, make sure that you have printed the argumentative essay assignment and that you're looking at it right now. Also, contact the teacher if you don't understand the assignment, okay? Make sure that you have read the argumentative essay chapter of your textbook. Read all of the available resources online, and it's okay if it takes you a few days to read this entire presentation. So here's a snapshot of the assignment, and the operative word is snapshot. If you want to read the full assignment, you need to go online to access the full assignment. So this assignment comes in two parts, part one and part two. Part one is the research, and part two is the essay with the research in it. So the way I grade this essay, this entire assignment, is 50% of this assignment goes towards the research and 50% goes towards the essay. So on part one of the assignment, you can make a perfect score of 100. A lot of students have done it. And if I were you, I would try my best to get 100 or a very high A. And let's say part two is the essay and you make a 60. Well, I combine parts one and parts two and I divide by two. And then that's your overall grade. So for that grade, it would be an 80. So that's a very generous way of grading your assignment. So for the overall assignment, you would make an 80. And this assignment counts a lot towards your grade. It counts a lot. So do very well on this assignment. And I'm making it so that the way I'm grading it will really help you do very well. So as you can see for part one, you need to cite three sources in your essay. So you need a visual, one book, and one reliable website or peer-reviewed article. And as you can see, once you find your book, I need for you to highlight 7 quotes you think you may use in your essay, okay? And then highlight 7 quotes you think you may use on a website or peer-reviewed article. And then make sure you highlight or you on a sheet of paper you type 5 quotes from the visual that you think you may use in your essay, okay? So you need 7 quotes from your book, 7 quotes from your website or peer-reviewed article, and type 5 quotes you think you may use in your visual, and you need a works cited page, okay? Then the essay itself, you're going to have to go online again to view all of the topics, okay? And in your introduction for this essay, you're going to have to mention the opposition's viewpoint. So since this is a longer paper, you'll have three thesis points, and you will have for each thesis point, you will have about 3 body paragraphs. So, you definitely mention the opposition's viewpoint in the introduction. That's important. You have to at least have 1 quote, or you need to have quotes in your body paragraphs, of course. Strategically put them where they need to go. You need to have a picture that embodies your argument. You have to have a conclusion, a works cited page, no glaring grammar mistakes, and write in third person point of view. You have to organize your time, guys. If you're taking a fall or spring semester, you have about 5 weeks to write this essay. If you're taking a summer session and a mini semester, you have about 4 weeks to write your essay. Okay. So organize your time because you're going to have to write the assignment started from beginning to the end. So just maximize your time. Also, okay, so now what is the argumentative essay? An argumentative essay requires you to take a position and to offer reasons and evidence why, and to convince somebody to accept your position or at least consider your position. The first thing you need to do is choose a topic. You guys, you have assigned topics, so you have to choose from a list of assigned topics. But in this class or another class, if the teacher tells you, you have to choose you have the choice to choose your own topics. I would always just go to Google and just try to find an argumentative um a PDF of argumentative topics. That's just easier for you. But overall, from the assigned topic list, you need to find a topic that you either like, some a topic that you know something about, or a topic that you want to learn something about or something more about. Okay. Remember, you must be strongly for or strongly against your topic. So let's look at this topic right here. As a practice, have has the automobile helped or harmed society? Let's look at this topic just for practice. Okay. The first thing you need to do when you choose your topic is explore your topics. Look at the pros and cons. Pro means that you agree with a topic. A con means that you disagree with a topic. You always have to explore your opposing viewpoints, because if, for instance, you say the automobile has helped society, you need to read and see what people are saying about people who feel that the automobile has harmed society. Because if you get these two views, you have a much better, a more well balanced paper, and you want a more interesting, well balanced paper. Okay. You're going to choose reliable sources to explore your topic. So you're going to read books, articles, reliable online discussions, testimonies. Um, Also, just a word on the type of sources. Primary sources are, you may run across these type of sources, but a primary source is something original. Like if you go online and you read the Gettysburg Address, that's an original document. Secondary sources are the sources that you will generally use for a paper like this, and they come in the form of books, scholarly or peer-reviewed articles. And secondary sources actually analyze your primary sources. They're great for academic research. And tertiary sources are dictionaries, glossy magazines, Wikipedia, summaries, and they're good for early stage preliminary research. Okay. So if you can't come up with ideas and you need to get started and you need something to help you start, you can always do preliminary research. Okay. Um, so how can a student tell if a source is reliable? Just a few ways you can tell. If it's online and it has an updated dates, and it looks like somebody is continuously updating, keeping the website up to date, that means that's usually reliable. And for a book, if you have a works cited page, that means that that's usually well researched. Experts have written for the book or contributed to the book, so that's a good sign. And view the library's LibGuides for more information about reliable sources. Okay. So, again, you want to continue to explore. And in the beginning stages, I always encourage students to just type your essay topic in Google and just see what people are saying about your topic. What are the current trends? What are the current opinions? What are some interesting aspects of your topic? And it's fine to use Wikipedia. There's nothing wrong with Wikipedia. Everybody uses Wikipedia. But just remember, it's just for general research. It's not for academic research. It's just for your general observation to just kind of get some ideas. Okay. The one thing you can use on Wikipedia is you can use the works cited page, because the works cited page on each Wikipedia page has some really reliable sources. Um, so next, don't forget to use Galileo. Galileo, guys, is an excellent source. It has everything in one database, and you guys should really use it. There is one site I think you will like, and it's called Opposing Viewpoints. And pretty much it has every topic every argumentative essay topic you can imagine. And it just does a breakdown of everything. I think you will really like Opposing Viewpoints. I would actually start there first. Then you have ProQuest databases. Right here, you have, this is what it looked like. You'll have Opposing Viewpoints right here. Then you'll have ProQuest databases, and that's good for articles and your peer-reviewed articles. Um, the ProCon database is also good for research. And you'll have your ebooks and things like that, and pictures. So Galileo is an excellent source. You can use Google Books. That's fine. I would always, say for this practice topic we're doing, websites like AAA, Geico, the U.S. Department of Transportation. Whenever you can find a government site for research, that's always good because usually the government has a lot of money to pay people to research. Also, any kind of educational institution has lots of money and they pay people to research. Okay. Um, so next, you want to start formulating, once you've read some sources, you want to start formulating an argument and you want to form a thesis, a preliminary thesis. You're going to find 3 points. So, if you agree that autos have helped society, find 3 strong points that support your viewpoint. So, here, you can say automobiles have helped society by saving lives, by creating more jobs, and, you can find another third point. Remember, guys, this is an argumentative essay. It's not an example essay. So, your thesis and examples would be argumentative, not general. Argumentative thesis points solve problems. So, your points must solve problems. So, here, um, you can say something like, when you say um, saving lives and creating jobs, these thesis points up here, those points focus on solving problems, okay? And yours do too. That gives you more research. Now that you've created a thesis, start writing your draft. Your draft must have an introduction with opposition viewpoint. And your argument is based on your opinion. I'll say that again. You guys, this argument is based on your opinion. So your essay will be full of common knowledge. The reason that's really important is because a lot of students think that 90% of the paper will consist of sources and only 10% of what you have to say. No, that's not true. 90% of this paper would be from your viewpoint, your common knowledge of this topic, and 10% will be the experts agreeing with what you say. Okay. Um, choosing an example. So this is just a quick word on emotional appeals. So you will, when you look and you research and you find your examples, you'll notice that your examples come in a lot of different forms. These are ethical appeals, ethos, pathos, logos. And as you can see, ethos appeals to to the author's credibility. So you can choose examples where you're saying Dr. So and so from, the CDC says this. That's ethos because you're relying on somebody's credibility to prove your point. Okay. And pathos means you're writing examples that appeal to somebody's emotional emotions. And logos is more logical appeals. Okay. Um. So ways to build your argument. Of course, use common knowledge, real life examples from local news, radio, um, about the automobile for our practice um topic. You can always extend a position. So when you read a source and it says, you can say source A is correct because blank is true too. So whenever you find your source and you find something that you think is a really good idea, all you have to do is extend that idea. There's nothing wrong with that. You can disagree with opposition. So if a lot of students will say, you know what, I cannot find I've been looking for I can't find anything on my viewpoint. Everything is geared towards the opposition's viewpoint. Well, sometimes you can change the opposition's viewpoint to fit your viewpoint. So you can say source B says this, but that's incorrect. In reality, it means this. And then you can pay attention to contradictions. Source A claims blank originated during this time, but that's not true, or something like that to create your examples. Okay. So pay attention to that. These are ways you can really build your arguments. So again, our practice thesis for this presentation is the automobiles have helped society by saving lives, by creating more jobs, and there's another point you have to find. So one police officer named Wilhelmino, he was one of the officers that got stuck in the rubble when the twin towers collapsed. And he was pulled from the rubble and he was put in the ambulance and rushed to the hospital. Now, his story, let me just tell you this. His story's all over the internet. Books have been written about his story and a film. So this is what you call common knowledge information. It doesn't have to be cited. You don't have to cite it. You can basically, when you add this to your paper, all you need to mention is, all of the important information, his name, his full name, his title, what happened on that day, and that's pretty much it. And then you're going to use your sources to pretty much support what you have to say. This is what you shouldn't do. When you choose examples, guys, make sure you don't make these mistakes. Um, don't try to use a false authority. So you can't say Dr. X is an engineer and he doesn't believe in global warming. So you can't say something like Dr. X. If Dr. X is not an expert, then that's kind of a false reasoning. Okay, you want to find people who are credible. Okay. Um. Also, another false logical fallacy is a slippery slope, making unsupported, inadequate supported claims that one thing inevitably leads to another. So here, if a sober person keeps hanging around a drunk person, that sober person will eventually become a drunkard. Yeah, that's just really out there. You can't make that connection, okay? Hasty generalizations like this one, all rich people work hard and that's what makes them rich. That's a generalization. You don't know if all rich people work hard, okay? And this is just a snapshot of what your essay or what a paragraph will look like. Okay. Again, 90% of the paper will be examples from your viewpoint, and the remaining 10% of the paper will be evidence supporting your viewpoint. So let's look at this practice thesis. This is the first thesis point. Automobiles help society because they help save lives. So automobiles help society because they help save lives. That's my topic sentence, right? For example, and this part in red, this is my common knowledge example. For example, on 9/11, Wilhelmino, a New York Port Authority police officer, was trapped in the Twin Towers after they collapsed. He was pulled out of the rubble, and the paramedics took him to the hospital by way of ambulance. Everything in purple is you're explaining the significance of this example as it relates to your main argument. Remember, your main argument for this paragraph is that the automobile helps save lives. So here it says on 9/11, so many maimed and burnt people were saved because of the ambulance transport. People like Jimenez were deprived of oxygen in the rubble, and that deprivation caused all sorts of upper respiratory problems. However, a typical ambulance is equipped with a ventilator and a defibrillator. This equipment saves so many lives. And then the underlined part, this is your using sources to support your viewpoint. Notice how it's all organized. In early 1900s America, Jimenez's experiences would have been different according to the ambulance a history by Ryan Corbett Bell. More people worked in factories and a proliferation of crush injuries were common. People were dying unattended in the backs of horse-drawn cabs towards the hospital. Fortunately, today more lives are saved based on the advancement of the automobile. So my source here helped me support all of this, what I was saying. So it goes back to that formula of 90% of this paper being from your viewpoint and only 10% are sources supporting what you have to say. This is a dramatic Mercedes-Benz commercial, docudrama commercial, you guys. If you want to take a look at it, it basically is about Bertha Benz, and she, of course, Mercedes-Benz. That was her husband. And back then, when the automobile, like late to 1800s in Europe, when the automobile, she was experimenting with her husband's automobile. And back then, you guys, they still believed, and they were very super religious, like all around the world. And they believed like a woman like this driving this weird thing was a witch. So it's very interesting if you want to look at that commercial. Okay, research steps. So, a lot of students, when they have to write essays, they feel that, oh, geez, this is another check mark assignment. Let me hurry and get it done. The teacher's not going to really pay much attention. This is just one more thing I have to do to get my degree. But I really would like for you guys to appreciate the value that comes along with researching, because think about this. You'll find new information. When you research, you will find new information that will greatly enhance someone's knowledge, even the teacher's knowledge. You will enhance your own knowledge. And someone may discover your essay and become inspired to extend your research. And that happens a lot. So, step one, and I want you to follow these steps to help you write your paper, because I think if you stop follow these steps, it'll kind of lead you in the right direction. So you want to keep your research in a notebook or an online site like Google Docs. If you have a Gmail account, if you use Gmail, then you have Google Docs. You just have to open it up and just use it, okay? But keep your research in one place so that you won't be scurrying around trying to find it. And on Google, whenever you open a site, a website you like, in the upper right hand of the search engine, you'll see a star. And you can click that star and it will help you save your information online. Then step two, write your topic down and write a preliminary thesis. You guys, before you start writing your full paper, always verify your thesis with the teacher so you're not wasting all of your time. Because if I tell you, yes, that's a good thesis statement, you can go ahead and start writing your paper, then that's the biggest part of your essay is just making sure you solidify your thesis, okay? So write a thesis statement that solves a problem, like I said before in society. You may want to create a KWL chart, and this chart is very simple. K means what you already know about the topic. W means what do you want to learn about the topic, and L means that while you work researching, what are you learning about the topic? And step three, explore your topic. Type your again, like I said before, type your topic in Google, do a search, do a general search first. Look at Washington Post, look at comments, look at Procon database, look at Quora, see what other people are saying. And then step four, go beyond the preliminary research and start looking at your academic sources. So find books on ProQuest, find or on Google Books. Find scholarly or peer-reviewed articles on the Opposing Viewpoints database or Google Scholar. And step five, start drafting. And in the introduction, don't forget to mention your opposition viewpoint. You have to acknowledge whenever you have an argumentative essay, you have to acknowledge that somebody disagrees with you, okay? So that it looks like you have tried to create a balance there. In your body paragraphs, you'll have a mix of common knowledge, information, and experts who agree with you, okay? Or you will use opposition's information to prove your point. Try to write a first draft with just your common knowledge experience example. So, guys, this is just general advice here about how to write your paper, in terms of how to write do the writing process. The writing process, I can't really give you a definite way to write because it's a writing process. We all write differently, but what helps a lot of students is a lot of times they'll write their first draft with just their common knowledge information. They'll get all of their points out first, and then they'll go back and write a second draft, and that's when they'll add their sources, their research to the second draft. Okay, and that's a good way of doing it. And then step six, after writing one full body paragraph, contact the teacher to do an informal peer review with your classmate to make sure you're heading in the right direction. I always tell students before you write the full essay, try to see if your first body paragraph is going in the right direction, because then you'll know if the rest of your paper will be going in the right direction. And then lastly, revise, edit, proofread your essay. And don't forget to view the model argumentative essay online. Um, This is just a snapshot of it, and as you can see, if you could just read this little part here, you'll notice that there's an opposition viewpoint. How do I know it's the opposition viewpoint? Because here's the thesis right here. And the thesis says that television has proven to be harmful to society. So if your viewpoint is that television is harmful, the opposition viewpoint will be that television is helpful. It has improved lives. So you have to have that in your essay in the introduction, that opposition's point of view. Okay. And yeah, look at this entire model essay online so you'll have an idea of how to write your paper. And that's it, guys. That's all I have for you. Thanks for watching.